Greg Cody is legitimately mad at me. We'll get to that in a second. We seem to have misplaced his firstborn, stuck in a Cleveland airport, still not here. This is how Metal Arc does business. We send you to drink shirtless beer in Buffalo. It takes you 3 days to get back, and we can't find you. But I don't want to blame what has happened to me over the last 24 hours on Tony, because it's not his fault.
Kind of sounds like you're headed towards saying it is.
That Billy is so easily influenceable and
feels like a stray here.
You're catching a stray for Billy now being actively more of an anarchist, because I believe...
What did I do?
What did he do?
I'll tell you in a second what both of you did before we go any further, though. I want the audience to understand that I believe in the history of our show. We have never had a lower point than yesterday, and I believe in the history of the medium we're approaching. Something as dumb as anything that's ever happened. It begins with the podcast title, Josh Allen Has a Stupid Face.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
It was you.
It was not me.
The title was not you.
I didn't title that.
You decided after the Dolphins lost to the Bills, you decided to bring Bills Mafia upon my head with the sports radio podcast conversation of Josh Allen has a stupid face.
Yeah.
What has rained down upon me over the last 24 hours, who did not say anything bad about the Bills.
You did kind of poke and prod it out of me and Tony, though. Like, I will say, you were trying to stick knives in us Dolph fans over here to get us all riled up. I didn't wake up and say I want to say Josh Allen had a stupid face. I was driven to that point.
You seemed a little eager to say it.
I will say this. A lot of people didn't seem to like that. A lot of people didn't like that.
Well, but it didn't rain down on you as much as it rained down on me, and just all of it. Because Greg Cody was in here just triumphantly saying the Dolphins are better than the Bills. The Bills are 18-2 in the AFC East the last 3 years, and the Dolphins have lost 8 of 9, and the one they won was by 2 points with the entire defense backpedaling through the stadium as Josh Allen just threw his arm out. That's the one victory the Dolphins have. And
4-point differential for the season.
I need to get through this, Billy. Like, you can continue to do what you do. I blame Tony for all of this because it's gotten worse since he got here.
I didn't say a word during the Bills conversation. I was in here doing my thing, making sure my Samboselli was ready. I had nothing to say about anything. And then all of a sudden, I'm catching strays for something Billy did that he didn't even do. That I'm saying that you didn't even do.
You said Josh Allen is a stupid face. No. You instigated Bill's Mafia.
I mean, that's like
I don't even remember that, to be honest.
You're one to talk, Chris Whittingham.
Oh.
Well, this is the thing. Yes, this began with Whittingham. I was as sick as
lots of blame going around today.
It began with Whittingham calling Buffalo a weather city, which I don't even know what that means, and saying they should either have a dome or no football at all. That's
saying as a weather city, as a city with the weather that it has,
every
it shouldn't
city
have
is a weather city.
Right, exactly. I'm saying that it's too cold and too snowy. They should have a dome over their stadium. I stand by that.
Wherever this is going, I think we can all agree Dan did nothing wrong here, and it was all of us.
I said Josh Allen was terrible many years ago.
We all have bona fides of going after the Bills.
You're right,
but since then I've been both wrong and right, and I said you can't coach the reckless out of him, and they haven't. And it hasn't mattered this year. But Billy is betting, and has been betting all season, that in one game it's going to catch up to him. Like, that's the bet that Billy has made since the beginning of the season. He's the 5th-rated international football analyst in the country, in the world, according to The Guardian.
Tell me short.
And his analysis of the Bills this year has been Josh Allen sucks, and the Bills will not win the Super Bowl.
Well, that's dumbing it down for someone with a dumb face. So what my point was.
It's more elevated than that, Dan.
Yeah, you don't it's more nuanced. You don't get the nuance behind it. Yeah.
Jessica, what are you shaking your head about?
This is a cheap personal attack, Billy.
Thank you.
It
on
is.
me,
Thank
right?
you.
It's a cheap personal attack on me.
On Josh Allen.
Oh.
You can make fun of him for throwing YOLO balls and reckless passes, but you don't have to say he has a dumb face.
Well, he does, but a little bit. But I also said
This
he
is
had bad.
the first time he said it's a dumb face. Yesterday was a stupid face.
No, was it? I don't know. But I
What's
also
worse,
said
dumb
he
or
has,
stupid?
he has bad facial hair.
Good
And I
question.
say that as someone myself with bad facial hair. And I pointed that out yesterday. And people were kind of throwing like pictures of me with bad facial hair, which is every picture in my face, saying, you have a dumb face with bad facial hair. I go, I know. I'm aware of that. That's why I can
It's
say
true.
it.
Takes one to know one.
Exactly.
I guess.
Wait.
What?
I have just been handed by Mike Fuentes. I told him, just get me a list of
How's his
things,
hamstring?
things being said on the internet.
You know it's worse for me, Dan, than it was for you because I had the patron saint of the Bills come after me personally. A personal attack.
Wow.
Christine Lisi came after me.
Whoa.
Oh, and she's beloved.
She's the nicest person on Earth, in the history of Earth. And she came after me. Wasn't happy.
The people of Buffalo, I mean, Pablo Torre did like a 50-minute episode of ESPN Daily explaining the origins of Bill's Mafia. This is like the fan base.
50 minutes.
Yeah, it was 50 minutes of like tracing the origins of the name Bill's Mafia. And this is the fan base, I would say, most in the NFL that is not to be trifled with. And yet this show does nothing but continually poke them in the eye.
Well, they're a very nice fan base. They're very charitable. They're constantly raising lots of money for, all kinds of causes. So
They help the table industry too.
They have brought the big year for tables.
Big,
They
huge
brought
year,
the
actually.
table.
Well,
industry
it
back.
is curious timing on a couple of fronts that you've decided to do this. One is a couple of weeks after the Bills became America's team. Two
No, they're not.
is immediately after the Dolphins lose again to the Bills, after losing the division to the Bills, after losing everything to the Bills since Josh Allen got there. The thing that you didn't get worse than me yesterday is that I didn't say anything bad, nothing bad about the Bills yesterday. Never mind Josh Allen has a stupid face. And I legitimately don't know when this kind of criticism of you look like a meatball with man boobs, I don't know whether it was directed at me or Cody, but I didn't say anything. And I was so rattled by how much I was getting yesterday of this when I had said nothing.
Are we even sure I'm the one that said that he has
I don't
a stupid
recall
face?
you saying it, to be honest.
I feel like someone said it and then like it got the ball rolling.
This is
I don't
where
know
Tony's
that I
been a
said
bad
it
influence.
initially.
This is where
Again,
Tony has
you
been
know?
a bad influence because
I might have said that Josh
Whitney
Allen
said it.
Well, I think I
What
said
did you say,
I don't know the order. We might have to go back and
See?
dig into the archives and figure out exactly the
I'll
order of this.
check.
But I feel like
It was you.
I might have started by saying that Josh Allen had a very annoying reaction to Christian Wilkins. Or having to go at Christian Wilkins after he threw an interception.
Yeah.
And they wrestled
Billy-
to the
Billy
ground.
said-
and
said he has
then
a
you might have,
stupid
and then
face.
Billy just thundered in
And
and
then-
said, "No." Billy thundered in and said, "Well, he has a stupid
I don't
face," and then
remember that.
we were off and running.
I have a controversial opinion here. And I'm gonna upset another fan base.
Just one?
here. Yeah, I'm gonna upset another fan base here, and I'm
It's Trevor Lawrence.
not sure that I want to say it.
Who else has a stupid face?
Stay out. Do not.
After yesterday, I was kind of glad because I was like, well, and I this is a dangerous one. I was kind of glad because I'm like, well, now we don't have to talk about the Dolphins anymore because people hate when we talk about the Dolphins. But it seems like that's not the case.
You know what?
I felt bad saying that.
First off, this podcast is called The Local Hour. Local isn't local to Miami sports. Yes, we talk about the Dolphins a lot in The Local Hour. Can you forgive us? Can you forgive us this one indulgence of talking about the Dolphins a lot during The Local Hour?
The Canes and
No.
Heat.
Billy, I thought you were
Panthers,
gonna say
Browns.
Trevor Lawrence had a dumb face, and I was about to
No.
throw hands at you.
He has like the face of a fancy dog.
That's oh my
Afghan,
god,
yeah.
Billy. I'm glad you brought that
Great
up
show.
because I posted a TikTok basically saying that the other night, and
Really?
it was my most viral TikTok.
Oh wow!
It had
congrats.
like 400,000 views by the end of the
Oh.
weekend.
put it on the poll, Billy. Does Trevor Lawrence look like a fancy dog? I'm not.
It was. It had to be said.
400,000.
Yeah, it had to be said.
I am. That is the currency of the day. What do you mean? That's
How
how,
many views
people.
have your TikToks gotten?
That is
What do you
how.
know?
None. I have one. It's me playing Wordle in the middle of a crowded nightclub.
That is the new currency now of all kinds. Is how this is what people are accusing me of. They're accusing me of being click interested when I'm not the one who said that he had a stupid face. I would not say of Trevor Lawrence that he has a stupid face, but it is a face with a lot of surface area.
He's a big guy, Dan. He's a long guy. You know, what do you want him to do?
Agreed, but he's got more.
He's a long guy.
He is. Did you see him on that sneak, by the way? He looked like Jordan, like in Space Jam, where he like
Yeah,
extended
that
his
was
arm.
pretty
That was crazy.
impressive, to
That was
be
an
honest.
all-time size quarterback matchup. Lawrence v. Herbert.
It was huge. They
My
were
God,
huge.
pa.
Huge.
I will read some of these emails and some of these texts and some of these tweets. LeBatard is a hack. I mean, what?
I mean, that's wrong. Dan.
I don't
They
think he
shouldn't have
knew
said
the
that.
mic was on.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Like, you're not a hack. Absolutely not a hack.
A bunch of dried up, irrelevant nobodies listening to themselves talk. This could be the worst take on the internet.
Well, which take? That's very not specific.
That could be any episode of the show.
It could have been the thing with the kid, whatever his name is.
Is Josh Allen going to go on Kyle Brandt's podcast again and Kyle Brandt's going, hey, so there's this guy named Billy in Miami.
No, it's going to be LeBatard again. That's what I got for your snow take.
I mean, well, Kyle Brandt mentioned a guy named Chris. Like that. That's how he presented the take to Josh Allen. I feel like we're not far away from Josh Allen getting presented with a guy named Billy said you had a stupid face.
Well,
Your thoughts?
no. Like that's the line, right? Is that your take? And now we're breaking the fourth wall. Your take was almost somewhat reasonable, which is like they shouldn't play in this city because it snows. And like, well, let's ask about that. No one's gonna go up and say, "Hey, someone thinks you have a stupid face. What do you think?" You know what I mean?
I defy and dare Kyle Brandt to ask
Don't
him
do
that
that.
question
We don't
on
need to do
behalf
that.
of the show. A bunch of jokers who never played sports. You wish you drafted Josh Allen. This is prime loser talk. This is sad what sports media has come to, judging a guy on his facial hair. Can't believe this horrible show still exists. No wonder ESPN booted this garbage.
Billy was a D1 athlete,
That's true.
so that's just incorrect.
I will say in that email, they criticize. How can you criticize someone for their facial hair while criticizing people for not playing sports?
Miami can only win when they stick your team on the sauna side of their home field.
The sun was on the field that
That's
day.
kind of fair, I think. Imagine looking like any of those faces for radio little boys and commenting on Josh having a stupid face.
Now,
But you don't need a not stupid face to be on a radio show. So also,
there's that.
Face
Yeah.
for radio.
Now, producer Jeremy has found the sound of
Thank God.
this in context, so we can get clarity, once and for all.
What do you mean, thank God, Billy? Because I think it's going to be pretty clear here. This is, you have been, and I blame Tony for this. It's gotten worse since he arrived. You're catching strays, Tony, but Billy, I don't know whether he's emboldened, whether he just enjoys chaos even more, but we have reached the end of this medium when the way that you agitate a fan base is by telling them their quarterback has a stupid face. Like, it's the dumbest analysis possible after the Dolphins had their season ended. It's an all or nothing game against the team with the third string quarterback, and the Dolphins, of course, are begging, sure, go ahead and keep throwing 70-yard passes. You're going to complete one of them or two of them, sure, but we're out here with our third string quarterback, and now the numbers on Josh Allen, he fumbled 16 times this year. 8 against the Dolphins.
Can I say something controversial?
Oh, controversy.
He has a stupid face.
Oh
my
From the makers of Eli Manning.
He just has this face that it's like, what's going on with you? It just always looks confused or stupid or like he's lucky for things. It's just like, I think more highly of him if I didn't have to see his face. That's lacking context.
I specifically said to Jeremy, leave some context in of what was said before that, so that you thundering in with "he has a stupid face" is completely out of the sky, which it was. It had nothing to do with anything we were talking about.
And how perfect is it that Billy blames you for it and Tony doesn't remember hearing it in any way?
I still don't know if that's Billy Gil, to be honest.
I would like to distance myself from this take. I'm going to Phoenix later this month for Super Bowl Media Week, and I would not.
He won't.
I would
he
not
won't be
like
there.
any. Well, if he's not playing in the game, he probably will be there.
That's a good shout.
And I would
on
like to
behalf of
distance
Subway.
myself.
On behalf of Subway, he'll probably be pitched to us as a guest.
On behalf of DraftKings, I had nothing to do with this
like
take.
the fine folks at whatever company he'll be promoting, and the guest bookers will not know of this previous, and I feel like Josh Allen is going to sit down at a table somewhere, and maybe we'll be talking to him on behalf of something.
He's very likable, and like I've seen
You
interviews.
said the opposite yesterday.
He's very likable.
You
I've
said
seen
the
interviews.
team was unlikable.
Squaring the yeah, that was
He
Bane
seems-
Sean Connery.
He seems to have a good sense of humor. I think he would laugh.
Silly
At,
woman.
I think he'd laugh at that take, and maybe agree with it.
Squaring the circle from he's likable to has a stupid face is pretty
Yeah,
tough.
you can have a stupid face and still be likable.
Really?
And you set the
I think
people.
we're all an example of that.
People,
Hopefully.
well, we're not likable. People criticizing, saying,
Who
"Hey,
would you say
know,
isn't likable?
you wish you could draft." I did draft him. He was my fantasy quarterback. We almost won a league together. So, in your stupid faces, commenters.
We are being inundated by these people who I believe is I can't say it's the worst fan base to do this to, but there is.
In the NFL, you don't think?
I mean,
Like, I don't think if we came on this program and said, you know, Jared Goff has a stupid face, that which should be the title of this episode.
Edit that.
Like, I think if we said, I don't think the Lions fans would be inundating us for 24 straight hours on how dare you say that Jared Goff has a stupid face.
Let's try it out. Say it a fourth time, and maybe we will find out tomorrow.
I like
okay,
Jared Goff.
but does it make it the worst fan base just because it's the most passionate fan base? Because and there's been so much losing laughing stock passed down through generations. Even their good teams were laughed at for always getting to the Super Bowl and losing, even though those teams ran over the Dolphins every year. Literally one year ran over their defensive coordinator who was standing on the sidelines en route to 40 points. Poor Tom Olivadotti. Like this is
Great name.
this is something that Buffalo doesn't have anything else. This is their sports identity.
The Sabres.
All of their passion gets poured into will this thing win? They've got, I think, don't they have the biggest or most successful minor league baseball, or they had the biggest or most successful minor league baseball team because they couldn't get the major league team, and they were very proud of their AAA team. All of their sports fandom in a cold and what can be a dreary place is poured into this, and they are the most passionate fan base, I think we can say, in this sport. But does that make them the worst? Because I don't do that with them. I admire Bills fans who have been beat up. They for sticking with being a laughingstock for 40 years, 17 years without a playoff appearance in this century before Josh Allen. Of course, they're going to protect him by yelling at us that he's the face of Gillette and you guys
Stupid
can't be
face of
found
Gillette.
on a milk carton.
Is he really the face of a company who like the whole thing is your face?
Well, also like clean shaven, which is not. It's a weird. You know what? I like to make amends. I like the Bills and Bills Mafia. I think I'm going to root for the Bills the rest
What
of the
are you
way in the
doing here?
playoffs.
Billy, you've
Well,
been
it's,
calling them
doing
frauds
here?
for
it's only
5
one more
months.
week.
Billy,
I think I'm going to root for the
You've been calling them
Bills.
frauds for 5 months.
Yeah, I think because I feel bad about it. And as I told you, I drafted Josh Allen. My fantasy team was named the Buffalo Billies. So I think that I'm going to root for them the rest of the way here. Them and the Cowboys just because of T.Y. Hilton. So I think I have 2 new teams in the playoffs. Cowboys, Bills. Oh, that would be a dream Super Bowl, huh? That I've been waiting for since, 5 months
But you're
ago.
gonna talk shit about everybody else, right?
I'm not talking S as you put it, okay? I just call it like I see it. I'm sorry that I'm not biased like the rest of you bootlickers over here.
You bought a Tua jersey.
Yeah, to support him. What's wrong with
A
that?
too small one.
I can't support Tua?
Well, it would suggest bias.
How so?
Okay. I'm glad we talked about it.
Dan, I'm with you. I saw you sneak in there trying to, launder the reputation of this show by saying how much you admire the fans so that they'll back off of you. Yeah. I'm with you. I think we need to create our own pro Buffalo alliance here and let them out, hang out to dry. Because Billy, you really brought this upon yourself and upon all of us. And I don't want your words to reflect the cyber bullies coming in my mentions either. So
There's no one coming after
Dan
you.
and I we are on the other side. You and Whittingham.
No, I'm on
and
your
Tony,
side.
deal with the wrath of Bills Mafia. I don't
What
want
did I
anything to
do?
do with it.
I'm not going.
What didn't you do?
I'm not. I went too far saying I admire the entirety of their fan base.
I don't think you went far enough.
I admire.
Say you love them.
I admire that kind of passion in the face of unrelenting cold and losing.
And like threats of their team being moved. because that was a thing when they were playing games in Toronto for a few years. It was like, well, are they going to move to Canada? Are they going to move to a more glamorous city in the NFL? I mean, Buffalo, now that, I mean, they're getting a stadium from at least partially funded by the state of New York. But I mean, it's always sort of been a looming threat until the Pagulas came in that someone was going to move them once Ralph Wilson moved on.
Does anyone want to embrace the challenge of taking on this fan base that with like putting further out the takes beyond Josh Allen's stupid face into the place that every time they buy diapers for an opposing player, because they do, you're right, they do a very kind, unusual thing where they show you how much they care about football and the human beings in the uniforms whenever something happens with a player on the opposing team in a Bills game that is unfortunate. They flood that player's charity with money for things. In a way that no other fan base does, and you could take that take out and say that they're only doing it to disguise their cruelty. I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that.
I gotta be honest.
You wouldn't
with you.
dare say their acts of charity or look at me, Louie?
Whoa. I'm sad.
That's Chris Whittingham right there.
I'm sad by this.
I'm merely throwing it out there. I didn't say anything. I don't know anybody. I don't talk to anybody.
This is a sad day. This is a sad day for me.
Why?
Because old Dan Le Batard would go up and he would call out all of these people and he would want to push up against them and he would want to be the face of people going against Bill's mom. This is the person that at one point in time put up billboards mocking King James in his hometown, getting suspended, doing all these things. And now it's like, well, Bill's Mafia was mean on Twitter. Let's be nice to them. What's happening?
Do you want to put up a billboard in Buffalo that says Josh Allen has a stupid face?
Oof. Signed Billy Gil.
But it'd be like, because that billboard was signed by Poppy and Stugotz, so I'll just make it Billy Gil. We'll sign it Billy Gil. You want that? Like, let's do that.
At Billy Gil.
I see the glimmer in Billy's eye. Billy wants to do this.
Can we find out what that costs, please, to put a bill? Like, let's escalate this because if it's going to start in the stupid place of Josh Allen has a stupid face.
Billy, you asked for this just now. What is wrong with you?
Chestnut checkers. I told you.
No,
influencer Billy knows what he's doing.
This is why you're
guys.
a bad influencer. Yes, this is why you're a bad influencer.
I've got nothing to do with this, Dan.
Influencer Billy.
No. Dan,
He's playing chestnut checkers.
This was
guys.
you coming out there and you saying, "I'll take all the heat."
No, Billy,
I've never been one
Billy,
to take the heat.
you want to wear me as you want to
kitchen.
wear me as a disguise. I am willing to put forth the money. Find out what it costs to say Billy Gil. I want Josh Allen has a stupid face.
I'd rather go to the Super Bowl.
Josh Allen has a stupid face. No. You want to use me as a disguise.
We're spending your Super Bowl fund on a billboard now.
And
That's what I'm saying.
We'll just put your name on it. Oh, I'm not even talking about Metalark money. I'm talking about paying for this out of my own pocket so you can take all the heat and quit hiding behind me.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Old Dan Le Batard would want the heat. Now you're trying to push off the
Stugotz
heat.
and Poppy on LeBron. It said that billboard had Stugotz. It was signed by Stugotz and Poppy,
Did that
not
overly
me.
serious report in Cleveland say Stugotz and Poppy put this billboard up, or did it say Dan Le Batard?
I caught the heat for others again. My father and Stugotz wanted to do that, and again, I'm always catching something for
You're
what
catching
it is.
strays, Dan, for no reason.
Dan's like the
reason.
meme where Billy's like asleep in the bed and Dan is hovering over him and all the knives are in his back. You guys know that meme? That's Dan taking
He's
shots.
like hugging him, and then all of a sudden, all the arrows are in his back.
The way that we did this on ESPN is we found out on air. The way that all of that happened was, and it can't be that expensive to get billboards in Buffalo.
The problem is like, what is that supposed to be?
The
Number
same
one.
way it wasn't expensive to get them in Akron. The way this started with LeBron is that I wanted to put a newspaper ad or Poppy and Stugotz did. A newspaper ad, and it cost $100,000, and we could get the billboards for like $30,000 or something much less than that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's a newspaper ad was $100,000. We put up 10 billboards. We would have put them up for a month if ESPN didn't make us take them down after a day.
They probably would still be up.
Well, that's the thing with this billboard idea is Bill's still going to be playing by the time it goes up.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
I'm a Bills fan. I just want to say it. I love Bills Mafia.
Let's find out on air. Do the research.
Self-evident.
I want to know what it costs to put up a billboard, if we're even allowed to put up a billboard. Josh Allen has a stupid face. To go ahead and escalate this. You're going to escalate this war against America's most popular team, and I simply want your name on it. Why aren't you going to the Super Bowl? Who is going to the Super Bowl? I just found out Jessica's going to the Super Bowl. What's our Super Bowl coverage going to look like?
I think Jess is
No one
going.
knows.
Yeah.
Jess is going for sure. We know that.
I'm going, and Golic lives there, so we're doing our show there with DraftKings.
I think
Golic lives at
Andrew,
the Super Bowl?
I think
Scottsdale.
Andrew Hawkins is
Oh.
doing something.
Hawk will be there. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time, Dan. I will tell you one thing. Last year, a contingent of the show went to LA, and we did the show around our normal time. And that contingent woke up at 5 a.m. LA time to be on the show
Every day.
I will not be doing that. I am laying down the law right now. I will not be waking up before 6 a.m. local time while I'm in Scottsdale. Actually, you know what? Let's make that 7:30. I will not be waking up before 7:30.
7:30.
I'm happy to help out. I will
So
do
you're-
anything
you're
possible,
fairly-
but
you're
I will
fairly
be waking
useless.
up after
7:30.
7 o'clock in Scottsdale.
You're fairly useless to us then.
Well, then I guess I won't be doing anything with you, Billy.
I hate that week. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I wouldn't want our show to be there.
Hold on, Dan. Have you ever been to a convention center where every radio station imaginable is there doing a sad radio show? It's delightful.
No, it's awful. It's
No, I don't know
exactly
about
what I'm
that.
trying
Wait,
to
you don't want to
avoid.
sit you don't want to sit next to Nasty Nestor
Oh,
again?
dude, he had so many guests. It was
So many
crazy.
guests.
All the movers and shakers are there.
really are.
And there's a lot of ass crack and a lot of engineers bent over.
That is true. There's so many of them.
And my midriff shirt will be next to those ass cracks for a full week. And
Next
I
to
can't
tree.
wait.
Amin lives relatively close to the Super Bowl. Do you not?
To the actual Super Bowl, no, because that's in Glendale and that's far. No one goes there. That's the thing so you guys are coming as visitors. I'm the tour guide. I'll let you guys know. Where the game is played and where literally everything else is, two completely different places.
I've been to the Fiesta Bowl. I feel like we all already know that. Glendale's farther. It's
West.
northwest
No, it's just
of
west.
Phoenix.
Just straight
But
west. due
Golik's
west.
house, Stugotz said he was staying at Golik's house as well. I don't know whether he's going to be.
Well,
of
he's
course.
still trying to finagle his way in.
I was
Dan.
there for that ask. It was not
How'd it go?
as well received as Stugotz thought it would be.
Golik doesn't want Stugotz.
I believe that he said maybe if it's a worst case scenario, possibly, but don't plan on that. To which Stugotz took, "We're good, Bill. We're good."
Stugotz was wandering around here yesterday, or last week rather, saying he was staying with the Goliks, that he and Jessica were staying with the
Least
Goliks.
surprising thing that he'd be undeterred by Golik saying,
I'm not-
nah, don't stay in my house.
I'm not staying anywhere Stugotz is staying, just for the record. I'm staying at my own place.
But Golik lives probably not in Glendale either.
No, he lives Paradise Valley. I think.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, Scottsdale.
Sounds
which
fancy.
is- Look,
I mean, do you live in Paradise Valley?
I do not. I live in South Tempe.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You missed Amin. I don't know whether people heard it. For some reason, upon arrival, Amin started moving things around, and there was the sound, obviously, of a cowbell.
I need more
Why
cowbell.
is there a cowbell in
I
there?
hadn't-
Cinephobe taping last night, boys.
Okay, so he arrived and he missed the entirety because he was gleeful helping Billy do this. There is nothing that Amin would be happy to put his name on that billboard. Amin loves feuding with other cities. If I sent Amin to war with Bill's Mafia because of the things that were said around here, Amin will gleefully lead Billy into battle.
Let's be honest. I mean, like, what do you? What do they have? What is their claim to fame? Wings? All right,
The
congratulations.
table thing.
Okay.
A couple dildos on the field.
Squirting condiments on naked people.
The ketchup thing is weird.
you
Can
know
we
what?
put that out? The ketchup thing is kind of weird.
Bizarre.
It's not weird, Tony, when you look
Grown
at
man
it through
taking ketchup to the dome like that is
not weird. Not weird when you look at it through the prism of this constitutes entertainment for these people. They have no other options. I don't think the internet even gets there.
Jesus.
Right? Like
No,
that's the level of bored you
This
have
guy
to be.
gets it.
That's the level
See,
of bored
this
you
is
have
why
to be.
you're a bad influence.
What?
That's right there. Yes.
It's like a 20-year-old insult.
What?
You
That place doesn't get the internet.
No, but it's
It might be true. I don't
how
know.
look, Netflix doesn't get there? Like, what is it? Is there an embargo? Do they have to have a VPN to get Hulu? Like, it's insane. Like, that's how bored you are. Like, I think it's not weird, but I think it's
you said weird.
I said we. I think it's interesting that they're like, hey, let's go to watch a game. All right, cool. You want to get there a little bit early? Yeah, sure. That's great. Let's get some drinks in. Okay. Then I'm going to jump through that table. Okay? Like, the idea that, oh, yeah, that's how we do here. It's ridiculous. Why are we entertaining this? Like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I want to do that too. I've seen media people from other places across the national landscape get so excited to go to Buffalo, watch my first Buffalo game, and jump through a table.
Because every other NFL environment is staid and boring. So
Yeah,
this is
Whitney,
something that actually
stop.
has some
Yeah, no,
Miami
true.
tailgate, que la cosa está aprendida, papi.
What he said.
That's not
Do they
true,
have
though,
strippers at a
Whitney.
Buffalo tailgate?
Oh, well,
I mean,
he's
you
right
know,
about
They
that.
have
Thank you.
dildos. You just told
Yeah.
us.
Well, yeah, they throw those on the field. I don't know if they have. I don't know where.
Like,
they
do
put
they go
them.
shopping before, like on the way? Are there like,
Adam and Eve, yeah.
or what is it, Fascinations or
Sex toy warehouse.
whatever? Liquidation.
Billy, you've retreated into the shadows.
Well, I'm doing research on something that's
Dan, you
not
might
gonna
like
go well
what
for me.
Billy's finding here. There's some
cheap.
interesting numbers.
I'm sure they're cheap, and the question is whether there's a likeness issue. And I am now asking the audience to help us make these billboards because I've decided I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you know what?
So-
I've never seen that these Buffalo like people squirting ketchup and throwing dildos and jumping through tables. You know what I've never seen? Black people.
Juju Gotti would like a word.
That's true. But Juju's an import. They had to fly him in from Atlanta.
He was also wrapped up in so much camouflage.
Oh, that's ugly. Oh,
he was-
Juju definitely went looking like Cleavon Little in Blazing Saddles, infiltrating the big meeting. What was it, my man? Hetty Lamar. It's Headley.
It's Headley Lamar.
He was in disguise. He was wearing more fabric than Batman to conceal his identity. And
Like,
or stay warm.
He
Juju,
was also the most identifiable person there at the same time.
Juju reached out and exposed his hand, and Chris Cody was like, "Wait, hold on, that'll come right off. Don't worry about that." That's a reference before you guys get offended.
Tony,
Dan,
can you tell me, please? Did you forget to bring gloves to Jacksonville? Is
Yes,
that what happened?
absolutely.
You just did not know.
I did
that-
not. So here's the deal. We live in Florida, right? I forgot that I live in Miami, which is a different state, right? Like we have the Conch Republic, shout out to them. Then we have us in Miami,
Mhm.
which stops at right about probably
Fort Lauderdale?
no,
No,
that's a
before
different
that.
place. That's a different place.
That's a different state.
Yeah, you were talking about like
195. Miami
The-
stops at
the
195.
myopia is
Maybe.
staggering.
Miami
Staggering.
starts at Hard Rock Stadium is where Miami ends.
That might be a
And
little-
then it's Broward, Orlando, New
Got
York.
it.
yeah, exactly. So what I wasn't anticipating,
North Carolina in between. Just in the winter.
every Cuban family goes to North
so
Carolina.
true.
Such a great
Everybody,
shout.
That is
everybody
so
in
good.
Miami has somebody that goes to North
Including
Carolina,
yours. That's where you
including
went for
mine.
Christmas.
Yeah, I was there.
Billy-
Billy's gonna go too.
You are so right that's the only place that you will find Cubans along that entire East Coast.
well, in Gatlinburg,
Gatlinburg,
Tennessee.
Oh,
for
can,
sure.
can I
for
chuck
some
in
reason.
Savannah, Georgia as well?
Yeah, that's a stop
A
when you're
pit
going to North
stop, yeah, on
Carolina.
the
Yeah.
way.
You stay a night there because the
Yeah,
kids are going crazy.
so
in the
there's
back,
three
which happened.
places in between Miami and New York. Well, actually four. Disney World,
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia,
Sometimes.
For the
North Car-
well-to-dos.
North Carolina, and Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then there's New York.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything else is a morass of land.
So what I didn't realize in all that morass
You're a
of
morass.
land was that Jacksonville's cold, right? It's basically Georgia or whatever state is next, South Carolina or whatever, and
You
it
didn't
was
know?
freezing.
I don't know if he's playing or not.
It was freezing.
Wait, Tony, name the states
Oh,
going
no.
north from
Oh,
Florida.
no.
that's on the
Oh,
East
no.
Coast.
Well,
Hold
we've
on.
got
no.
we've got Miami,
That's
we've got
state.
Orlando,
Bad start.
we've got North Carolina, and we've got New York. That's where we're at.
All
I
right,
don't
I'll
know
give it to
the
you.
backstory on Cubans in North Carolina in the winter. Do you? I don't know that. I know that all of the family friends have ended up there for some reason, but I have no idea what that story is.
It feels very much like, and I don't know this to be the case, but like sometimes I'll get in the mail, and I don't know if you guys get this too. It's like selling a plot of land right on this lake in the middle of Georgia. It's only $8,000 for 40 acres. And it's like, whoa, that seems like a really good deal. I'm sure, like, if you look into it, you're like, oh, there's no roads. There's no way to get there. Then I have to build my own house. There's no electricity. There's no
No,
phone.
that's
There's
so
no internet.
true.
How the hell? Like,
In 1970 something, that deal was slapping.
By the
that's
way-
what I'm saying. That's probably what was going on in North Carolina, where everyone's like, oh, yeah,
Vamos a coger estos cubanos aquí
Boom.
and bring them all here.
Billy,
40 acres.
you just described Buffalo.
Oh, come on, man. I'm a Bills
There's
fan.
no Cubans in Buffalo outside of maybe Lorenzo.
My grandparents left me in their will plots of land that aren't worth anything.
Oh, Dan, hold on. Let's have a
Really?
conversation.
Where?
Yeah, hold on a
Where?
second.
Talk
Are they
to
in
me.
North Carolina?
Just-
Are they in
yes,
North Carolina?
For real.
West of Florida, like just swamp,
West of
like
Florida.
I
Everglades.
hold on.
swear, there have been lots in North Carolina in my family for generations.
Really?
You see? He's
Really?
still on
Just
board.
there, guys.
in
Let's
the
build a
middle
cabin.
of nowhere.
Where
We
in
dro-
North Carolina are
I
we
don't know,
talking?
somewhere on a mountain. It's like
East of 95, west of 95.
Asheville.
Where
Asheville.
are we?
Flew. We
Asheville's
drove there
far.
when I was like 12. We looked at
Asheville-
absolute nothing and then moved on because like,
Guys.
what are we doing here?
Give
Missed
it to me.
opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
Dan,
Dan,
let's
Whitty,
talk after the
bequeath
show.
that to me. I will take on that land because I'm sure that now it's developed around there.
No,
when you look
or
30
we
years
can
ago, that was
develop
probably nothing.
What if we create a community there?
That's what I'm thinking.
dude?
You guys are gonna fall
See what
into
I'm
the same,
saying?
Well, you
same
like-
trap our
How the Blues
ancestors.
fell
did.
down.
From the
That's how it
people,
happened, Dan.
from the people who brought you Moss Miami comes Moss North Carolina, the community.
Even the cities in North Carolina are in the middle of nowhere. Like it's just really a weird place.
But Asheville's one of the
I
big
do
ones.
love it. I love it.
It's up in the
Asheville's
mountains.
beautiful. The mountains are beautiful. Raleigh Durham area is really
Raleigh's
nice.
fun,
Chapel
yeah.
Hill's gorgeous.
Long state,
but
by
it's
the
a
way.
weird state.
It's a long state.
It's a
yeah.
long
It is
state.
a very long state.
Because we were in Highlands, which is where the family I'm hesitant to say cabin because it's not a cabin. It's like a house.
The family cabin?
Yeah, my wife's family, her
Wow.
grandfather. Speaking of the story you
Cabin.
had,
Grandfather Mountain.
Cuban.
yes, both yes. And in the 1970s, he just went up to this mountain and was like, "This is my land. Like, I'm gonna buy it from the North Carolina."
Like
no,
a duck.
listen,
Yeah, he treated land in North Carolina
From
like
the
you
North
treat
Carolina
ducks.
government or
Descendants
whatever.
of Lewis and Clark.
he's like,
what
"This is mine right here."
Lewis
And he
and
built
Clark.
it, Louis and Clark.
And no one's kicked him off this land?
No, he bought it because they were like, nobody'd be stupid enough to build something here. And they just gave it to him for a nickel or 7 raspberries or whatever old people bought land for back in the day because the rest of us can't buy land now. But the point is that he bought it and developed it. And then this huge, not huge, probably it's like a 2,000 person town. Very nice little charming Hallmark town. By the way, excuse me, I'm choking up just thinking about it. What was the point?
Frondel Dia, 7
Wait,
raspberries.
So your
Where did that come
great grandfather-in-law
No.
founded a
my
town?
wife, maybe. My wife, Jennifer, her grandfather.
Yeah, your grandfather-in-law.
Yeah, grandfather-in-law went over, built this house, and now there's a bunch of people there.
Wow.
That's it.
Billy,
Hey.
story petered out. Billy,
I choked. I was choking up, Dan. It was a
There's a lot
beautiful
of
We've
story.
moved on past the Bills and Buffalo, Dan. We're here pooping on North Carolina now.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you
gonna
very
start a
much.
franchise in North Carolina. Sorry, Panthers, you don't count.
Oh.
It's gonna be
We need
Miami
West
expats
North Carolina, yeah.
in West North
Oh,
Carolina.
the Miami expats. I like that.
I'm not going to let you slink into the shadows, Billy. You say you want to talk about other things. I want to talk about the Bills and the Billboard.
Yeah.
What
Bill's
have
The Billy board.
what have you found? Bill, we can call it Bill's
Bill's-
Board with an apostrophe because
Oh,
it's
no.
going to have your name on
And
it.
if you call it that, then it's got to be on ESPN then, because Bill's Board sounds like Peyton's Places and all the other witty show names that go over there.
I'm getting to it.
Alliteration, man. It's,
And I
it's a
say
great device for
you gotta
naming
go
things.
Billy's Bill's Billboard or Bill's Billboard. You got to go Bill. Like that's creative.
We can
BBB.
figure it out. I need to
Figure
know
something
what
else
the
out.
cost is, what the details are, because I want to do this and I'd like to do it before the end of the show today. I want to know what the rules are. I want to have a creative.
Well, what rules? You're in charge. It's your company.
No, not the rules on payment. I told you I'll pay for this myself. I want to know what the rules are on likenesses, like whether we're allowed to put Josh Allen's face on a billboard.
No,
Oh,
you're not.
no, we're not.
We can
Come
put
on,
Billy's
like
face
that.
on a
Well,
billboard.
how about his name on a
Yes,
billboard?
absolutely.
Oh.
I don't-
Absolutely.
I don't
What
know
do you
what-
say? What are you saying? It depends on what you're saying. I was watching. Penn
He
and
has a
Teller-
stupid face, is what we're
Oh
saying.
no, yeah, that's you could totally do that. You could totally.
I
do
don't
that.
know that you're
Sold.
the person that's.
No. I was watching Penn and Teller last night, and I learned this. Like you can't.
Learn about name, image, and likeness on billboards.
Yeah.
Watching a Penn and Teller
Well,
documentary.
it wasn't necessarily name,
What
image,
timing?
likeness on billboards, but it was the idea of like what you can and can't say. So they were talking. The show is about fraudulent activity, right? But because if you call someone a fraud or something like that, that there's legal stuff around that. So they said in order to get around that, they would just call people like motherfuckers and just say, hey, no, that guy's a motherfucker. It's like, excuse our language. We're not trying to cuss to be gratuitous, but it's like, you say that legally, no one's going to give you a hard time. As opposed to if you say that person is a liar, then that can come back legally on blowback. So to say that Josh Allen looks like a stupid.
No, has a stupid face.
Has a stupid
I don't know
face.
that you
Yeah.
you are our legal expert, and when I cite precedent, it's going to be Penn and Teller.
Penn and
like,
Teller.
I'm a
When
little.
have they ever been sued?
Well, he was watching last night.
I'm a little worried about this, but I'd like to get some details.
All the billboards seem to be
I got all the
sold
details.
out until 2027.
No, they're
so it
not.
looks like this
In
guy's
Buffalo?
here.
That
Yeah,
can't
it
be
seems
true.
like
Oh,
it's not gonna
like a
happen.
long
Sorry.
time.
Cannot be true.
At first, I'm
I
like, it
looked it
can't be
up.
true. Then I'm like, there's probably just 3 billboards there, right?
One of them is a Jesus Saves.
Yeah, for
Applebee's
sure.
one.
I mean, if
McDonald's
if
next
calling
to-
someone calling someone a fraud allows them legal recourse. I'm very concerned about our relationship with Stugotz. He has a lot of legal recourse. Then
But like it's been demonstrated that he's a fraud, though. That's the difference. Like he'd lose that case.
We'd win in a court of law. We'd have
there
so
isn't a
much
jury in the
proof.
land.
He did go 0-6 on his wild card picks. Was it 0-6 or?
I'm confused. So we put up a video of his Stugotz picks, and it showed that he was 0-6 on his God Bless Football Stugotz picks. But I'm in a picks pool with Stugotz in which we pick every game against the spread, and he went 2-4 in that one. So I'm wildly confused as to how that's even possible.
He's hedging his bets. He's giving different picks in the pool than he is.
He would have gone the other way the entire way and gotten 6-0.
But he doesn't. Not all of them, right? There's
Well,
some
he
that
doesn't
knew.
expect to go 0-6. He doesn't. That's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to do the opposite of that.
I'm really annoyed that he wasn't here to he does Tom Brady. Don't do it. I care about you. Like, don't doubt the Bucks. The Bucks are they're gonna win their home playoff game. Bucks this and Bucks that. He didn't have to suffer any consequences.
Yeah,
for they were so bad this year.
The
The
Dead
Tampa
Show
Bay
set
Buccaneers-
list was really great the last 2 nights, though. They posted on their Instagram. So respect to Stugotz.
The buck stopped there.
You have had a couple of stinker jokes. Billy, give me the price of a billboard, please. I would like to know what it costs to put up a billboard.
Well, the thing is, Dan, is
many
that
bucks?
there's like these color codings around it, and I don't know what that. I'm assuming red means that you can't book that one, and then there's
Well,
yellow, and then there's blue. So I don't know what these color codings mean.
Does it have a price listed next to
There's
any of them?
prices, yeah.
Okay, so read the price. He's just asking how much.
I mean,
it
the
costs.
most expensive is like $6,000.
That's
and
wow.
then there's like
I got that.
you know
He's afraid.
some that are like
He didn't want to give me the
$750.
price.
Yeah.
Okay, 750. So we
Yes.
can put up 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know where those are. I
Well,
haven't
that's
found
okay.
those
What
yet.
di- I mean, what
It seems like it's just
Downtown.
random places in New
What
York.
difference-
Downtown
what
Buffalo.
difference- Let's get 10 of the $750 ones. Wherever
That might be
it is they
in the
are.
stadium, by the way.
Wherever it
The
is that they
Jumbotron.
are.
Right next to the jumbotron.
I need help executing this. Okay,
I'll help you. You can trust. I'll get it done.
I don't even
I'm your
need
man
to
for the
research.
job.
Look,
I
came
got you.
so close in that segment to firing you as researcher and putting Jeremy on it because I just don't trust any of your information.
Well, Jeremy's doing research that's also not helpful and is going to dig us into a hole too.
Go on.
And that was that Jared Goff looks like Ryan Gosling's idiot cousin.
Idiot.
I think we put up 9 billboards that say that Josh Allen has a stupid face and one that says that.
Well, he said he looks like stupid Ryan Gosling. I said, it looks closer to his idiot cousin.
What does that mean?
See you, Gary.